Welcome back. Leader of the official opposition Free National Movement, Michael Pintard, spoke with the media about the opposition perceives, or what the opposition perceives rather, as wasteful spending of taxpayers' money by the government, particularly costs due to travel by Prime Minister Philip Davis and the office of the Prime Minister, despite the Financial Secretary Simon Wilson's attempt to explain the same last Thursday. Mr. Pintard says the Prime Minister, who is currently in Guyana for a CARICOM summit, should himself explain his traveling and how it benefits the country and what has been accomplished by all of the traveling.
What it would do is cause us to focus our spending on particular objectives that our administration have, and we are able to measure whether or not we are having the outcome that we desire. That's one thing. The second thing is the technical staff in every ministry, when an invitation comes, they are able to tell you, Minister, Prime Minister, we don't advise on this particular trip, given the fact that our experience has been really only directors are present. So often you are guided. You may be minded to go on a particular trip, but they say you're likely to be one of only a couple ministers who attend. The real meeting you really want to be at is, and they would identify it. So we hear it, but we've been down this road before, so we have a good sense of how the system works.
Mr. Pintard points out that funds are also needed for the government to execute the many industrial agreements it has signed with various unions. According to Mr. Pintard, very few of the new industrial agreements are registered, which is a legal requirement to make them legitimate.
Funds are required to honor the commitments the government make in a variety of contracts. I mentioned before, civil servants, a number of them are not having their deductions removed from their salary, sent, whether it's to a financial services institution, to pay insurance, etc., because the government appears to be having some challenges some months with funds. There are numerous contractors. Once again, we told the public that we were concerned about some of the contractors who worked on small home repairs. They could not be paid for work they had done since June. The election in West Grand Bahama, because of the amount of work we were doing on homes, forced the government to try and cover up some of those arrears. Meanwhile, you busting up the people money with $200,000 to go to an awards ceremony, accommodations in Dubai. If it's justified, help us understand. Who did you carry? What was their function that justified that level of expenditure on accommodations alone?
Mr. Pintard says during the midterm budget debate, the opposition plans to look deeper at details of the government's traveling budget.
What the Prime Minister should explain is what would have accounted for $200,000 being spent to go to an award ceremony. What particular issues were being discussed, opportunities existed that would have been beneficial to the Bahamian people, that you could allocate almost $250,000 to take a delegation to that particular trip. And it isn't just that trip. The truth of the matter is there were a series of trips. Apart from the Onyx magazine ceremony, the question was asked in our press release of yesterday. Why was another $319,000 spent to travel to Orlando, Miami, and Chicago? And then, why was $132,000 spent to travel to St. George's, Grenada? And then what accounted for why $200,000 was spent just on accommodations in Dubai?
From the streets of Eleuthera, police are investigating a fatal crash on Queens Highway in the Hatchet Bay area that resulted in the death of a 39-year-old male. According to reports on Sunday, the 25th of February, after 7 a.m. in the morning, the victim was riding a white and black 650 Suzuki Trail dirt bike when he reportedly lost control while traveling north on Queens Highway, was subsequently thrown into bushes, and he sustained serious head trauma. He was pronounced dead at the scene and becomes the country's 8th traffic fatality for 2024. After coming under pressure in recent times, those responsible for the electronic ankle monitoring system is trying to show that they are capable. Officers from the electronic monitoring unit assisted in the arrest of 13 men ranging in age from 18 to 40 years old for serious offenses including murder, armed robbery, organized crime, and breach of bail between February 19th and February 24th. During this period, 2 adult males were placed before the magistrate's court for breaching their bail condition, another area where the police and the courts are looking to crack down and close some of those loopholes. While making his contribution to the bill to amend the Bail Act, which the government hopes will help reduce the number of people on bail committing serious crimes or becoming victims of crime, Attorney General Senator Ryan Pintard again admitted that the current state of the court complexes leaves little to be desired. He revealed that in addition to the government's plans to build a new modern 19-court complex on Shirley Street in the downtown area, the government is also having plans to open a new specialty court on the outside of downtown in the eastern area.
And in the first half of 2024, we look to open the Family and Juvenile Court Complex on Bernard Road. This complex will house Supreme Court and Magistrate Court facilities, with the supporting central government agencies such as the police and social services. Once this move is complete, hopefully by mid-year, additional courtroom facilities will become available, allowing for the appointment of additional Supreme Court justices, 2 of which will be earmarked specifically for criminal matters.
Attorney General Pintard said modern court infrastructure is a necessity in today's environment to efficiently adjudicate cases. And finally, after beating Puerto Rico on the road on last Thursday, 88-77, the Bahamas national men's basketball team seemed poised to deliver a victory on home soil at the Kendall Isaacs Gymnasium on Sunday night. But they fell kind of flat and lost to the visiting team from Puerto Rico, 86-67. Team Bahamas fell to a 1-1 record in the first window of this AmeriCup 2025 qualifier. The Bahamas is in a tough group with the United States, Cuba, and Puerto Rico. The next window of the AmeriCup qualifier will be played in November this year. That'll do it for your JCN Evening News. Once again, I'm Jarino Saunders. Thank you so much for joining us.
This segment of the news has been brought to you by Sun Oil Limited.